Final warning. I could do this all day.
Welcome to IAYTD, and here's everything you need to know to understand Captain America Civil War. There have been 12 movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe so far. Some of this history is vitally important to this movie, and some of it is probably not going to matter. My job here is to give you the stuff that you need to know. This is not an all-encompassing recap. This is a refresher for those of you that 1. Haven't seen some of the movies, or 2. Just need a reminder. The central hero of Civil War is Steve Rogers, who is a product of a super soldier experiment in World War II, and he was given immense strength, speed, stamina, and so forth. He's a good guy almost to a fault and served alongside his best friend Bucky Barnes, before Bucky was unfortunately killed. Rogers fell in love with a girl named Peggy Carter, but unfortunately that love was not meant to be, as Rogers crashed a ship into the ocean and was frozen for many, many years. He was unthawed in modern time by an organization called S.H.I.E.L.D., headed up by director Nick Fury. It turns out that Cap's friend Bucky wasn't really dead either, but instead was brainwashed by the evil organization Hydra, which used Bucky as an assassin called the Winter Soldier. Cap and Bucky had a bit of a fight, which resulted in the downfall of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the exposure that Hydra is still alive and kicking. Bucky started to remember his past and that Steve is his friend, but there are still a lot of mysteries about what's been going on all these years. Wait, how is Bucky so young still, you might ask? Hydra put him in a cryogenic sleep in between missions, only waking him up for extreme cases where his tactical skills could be of use. So Bucky has done some horrible things, we assume, but we and even him don't quite know everything. When Hydra collapsed, one of its lieutenants, named Brock Rumlow, was injured in the ordeal, but he managed to survive, now taking up the name Crossbones. He may have a bone to pick with Cap about that. Even though Hydra had infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D., a few people were still good, including Fury and his assistant director Maria Hill. We also have the master of espionage, Natasha Romanoff, who goes by the codename Black Widow, and a woman we don't know too much about named Sharon Carter, or her codename Agent 13. Now, Nick Fury had something he's been working on for a while called the Avengers Initiative, which included the de-thawed Steve Rogers. He recruited powerful people together in order to stop world-ending disasters. Now let's talk about some of these heavy hitters that we'll see in Civil War. In addition to Black Widow, we have another S.H.I.E.L.D. agent named Clint Barton, codenamed Hawkeye. He's able to shoot a bow and arrow with extreme precision and is armed with many types of arrows based on the scenario that he faces. We've recently discovered that Hawkeye has a family and has seemingly retired from this line of work, but we'll see how long that lasts. One of Nick Fury's first recruits was Tony Stark, known as Iron Man. Stark is a billionaire who put his time and resources into building suits capable of flight and equipped with all sorts of weaponry. He's also responsible for building an Avengers Tower in New York, which was used as a headquarters of sorts. New York is somewhat of a home base for the Avengers, especially after an alien threat attacked New York in the first Avengers movie. This attack had massive amounts of collateral damage, and there will undoubtedly be repercussions. Stark wanted to stop more attacks like this, so he built robots to patrol the world and protect the innocent, but this soon backfired. A sentient AI program called Ultron spread, culminating in a massive attack in a fictional European nation called Sokovia. The city was lifted from the Earth itself and eventually dropped back onto the Earth, causing major damage, but the Avengers were able to stop the worst of it. In the country of Sokovia, we met 2 new superheroes named Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Quicksilver was killed in Ultron's attack, but his sister Wanda is now working with the Avengers. Wanda has a mysterious power, not really explained too much yet in the movies, but it seems to be magic-based, able to protect her, shoot blasts, and levitate enemies. In the Age of Ultron movie, she was also able to command people's thoughts and show them visions. Another hero that we'll see quite often is a friend of Rogers named Sam Wilson, a former military operative who uses a flight suit to infiltrate an attack. Wilson, who uses the codename Falcon, is probably Rogers' closest ally and will follow Rogers to the end of the Earth. Just as Rogers has a crew to follow him, Tony Stark has some allies as well, most notably Colonel James Rhodes, who wears an amped-up Iron Man suit and codenamed War Machine. War Machine is still tied to the US government and will likely still ally with them if a line in the sand is drawn. Another government official we'll see pop up is a man by the name of General Ross. We last saw General Ross in the Hulk film, in which General Ross tried to stop and contain the rampaging beast known as the Hulk. He knows firsthand what sort of power these individuals hold and is likely working with the government to find a way to control or restrain these superpowered individuals. You might be thinking that's a lot of characters. Well, we're not done yet. When Tony Stark was working on Ultron, he also had a hand in creating Vision, an android body that is equipped with a magical stone on his forehead that gives him immense abilities, such as becoming intangible, flight, and blasting energy from the stone. Our last hero that we've already seen a bit of is a man named Scott Lang, who goes by the codename Ant-Man. He's a former thief who now uses this high-tech suit to change size and to communicate with ants. The suit was invented by Hank Pym, who used to work with S.H.I.E.L.D. way back in the day. Ant-Man has really only crossed paths with Falcon, but he managed to defeat Falcon in a one-on-one encounter. The Ant-Man film ended with the illusion that Falcon was looking to reach out to him and possibly recruit him to the Avengers. There are two key Avengers that won't be appearing in Civil War, at least not in a major way, and that's Thor and Hulk. The Hulk has run away, believing himself to be a danger to himself after the Hulk rampaged through South Africa and caused a lot of damage. Thor isn't from Earth and has no stake in earthly conflicts like this one. We also have two new Avengers that will be appearing for the first time in this film, so you don't need to know anything about them. And that's the African prince called the Black Panther, and a young teenager named Peter Parker, codenamed Spider-Man. On a smaller scale, vigilantes are also coming to power, mostly in New York, where Netflix exclusive shows focus on vigilantes like Daredevil, The Punisher, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage. So that's basically where we are. The Avengers have saved the world a few times now from alien threats and from an evil artificial intelligence, but Tony Stark created that AI. The Hulk has lost control and almost leveled entire cities. This is where the Civil War comes in. Some believe that those with power should be free to use it, and some believe that it should be controlled and monitored. There has to be a line drawn. Or does there? As for the future of this franchise, also be on the lookout for references to Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange, the next film to arrive after Civil War. If there's a scene after the credits of Civil War, it is likely foreshadowing this. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this helped prepare you for the Civil War.
Okay, that's enough.
Captain, people are afraid.